Bizarre Brain Comics. Ah, hello, my comic book friends. This is Magnus of the Feral Horde, where I tell tales of danger and daring do with bold sword-wielding heroes against sinister sorcerers and saving lovely damsels in distress. And this time, we're going to look at Claw, the Unconquered, #3 from 1975 from DC Comics. This was written by David Micheline with pencils by Ernie Chan. Then he was still under the name of Ernie Chua. And with inks and letters by Pat Boyette. Now, this is the only DC thing I have ever seen done by Pat Boyette that I am aware of, and he may have done some other stuff, but I'm like I said, I'm not aware of it. And of course, Ernie Chan is a long time association with Marvel and Conan the Barbarian. He did for many years was inking John Buscema's pencils on Conan, and his own inking style is so strong that Buscema's style was often subsumed to it, and for that reason, I did not care as much for his his inks on Buscema, and by that same token, there were a lot of Conan that he did, that both pencils and inks, and I still was. I mean, it was very nice. It's just my personal taste. I didn't care for it as much, but I think some of the stuff of his that I do like best was on Claw. It just happens that this issue is inked by Pat Boyette. And some of the other issues may have had other inkers, but I think it was primarily penciled and inked by him, and I liked his work there. And he also, while he was at DC, he had also done some Batman stuff, and I was not entirely thrilled with his Batman. He was just too big and bulky. But he was a marvelous artist. I'm not saying anything bad about him. It's just that I didn't care for his style as much on these specific projects. And okay. And Claw, the Unconquered, is a sword and sorcery fantasy character in DC Comics. He first appeared in Claw #1 in '75, created by David Micheline and Ernie Chan. And he is similar to Conan the Barbarian. In '75, DC Comics pretty much flooded the market with 50 new titles, including Claw as one of several sword and sorcery titles. It had some others, and this was the most successful of those. Then there's also the Warlord, which was fit into this, but a little bit out of it. And as far as sword and sorcery was concerned. Dave Micheline wrote the entire run, and after issue 7, Keith Giffen took over penciling duties, and science fiction elements were then incorporated into the stories, less not so much magical fantasy. It was revived in '81 for a backup feature in Warlord for a 2-part story, with Jack Harris and Tom Yeats on the art. And it returned in the 2000s from the Wildstorm imprint for a miniseries, and even had a Red Sonja crossover miniseries with Dynamite. And I plan on covering that sometime. as you can probably tell, this is a very, very rough, well-worn, well-read copy. This is not my original copy either. I don't think I still have my original copy, but I mean, it's coming apart here. So, but it is a good reading copy. This is Claw the Unconquered, the Blood Spear. Damsel in distress and weird creatures attacking the both of them while he's slashing and hacking with his sword. Okay, and it starts here with the title of Blood Spear. And this is where I can tell that, because there are no credits for lettering credits on here, but I can tell I've read enough Pat Boyette, especially if I know he's involved. I can recognize his lettering and caption borders. But I probably would not recognize his lettering alone without his other art duties on there. So here we see. Here is Claw. Because remember, Claw, he has a clawed hand. And it's of some kind of magical origin. So he's cursed with this clawed hand, which also kind of gives him more power in a way. And he wears this gauntlet over it to kind of hide it. Because when it's exposed, it tends to kind of take him over a bit, make him more bestial, as far as anger and viciousness, etc. But he has a problem. He's kind of amnesiac. He can't remember anything more than a few weeks prior to this. So here he is on his mount, riding through, and he sees some of these horrid reptilian beings harassing this lovely young lady who seems to be mired in quicksand. Help! Help! So he's going to go on, but no, his conscience gets the better of him here. This is really nice visual storytelling here, and I just like that profile. So he turns back, goes charges and starts slash, taking out these reptilian beings who have prehensile tails and tentacles as well as clawed hands. Well, his gauntlet gets ripped off, and then he just goes to town with that claw too. And he takes him. So then he gets it. He has difficulty restraining himself. So he gets his gauntlet back on, gets a line out to the apparently nude damsel in distress. Gets on his horse and pulls her out of the mire. This is when we discover that she's actually a centaur. And she's asked. Then she wants to ask him for help or hire him as a swordsman, because here we get just a little bit of his background explanation. His background. He's going with her, and but they're being observed by this wizard and this guy who is a king, and they're the enemies of Claw. They're the reason why he has no memory. And so that while they're camping that night, they attack these weird giant worms, which look like they came right out of an episode of Star Trek Search for Spock, come out of the ground and attack them. And he's hacking and slashing, and finally defeats all the worms. And she said, "We did it." I said, "Oh, well, I did it. You didn't do nothing." She said. Then she explains her background. She is a centaur, one of a herd of centaurs who living a quite easy pastoral life. A wandering wizard come by and explained to her that she had been human and mystically transformed into a centaur, and she was actually human, and that there's a way for her to regain her humanity. Has to find this spear, this blood spear, and the magic from that or death is the only way she can gain her humanity again. So she left her peaceful life and people to go on this journey to get this. And then, of course, she got him. Here they get to the destination where it is up on this rocky spire, which she would not be able to get up to. He climbs up. There in the temple at the top is the spear, and he says, "Look, seems unguarded. He's suspicious, and rightfully so, because there's magics guarding it. He becomes encased in stone. He smashes the crystal that has the shining the light, everything. So then he is safe. He gets the spear and gets that back down to the girl, gives it to her, and then she admits that she lied. Said it was not just the spear, but she had to kill him to regain her humanity. So here she is trying to spear Claw, and the magic of the spear shows that it's working. When it hits that plant, it just quickly decays. Well, just as she's about to get him, he grabs it with his clawed hand and holds her back. But remember, his claw is of magical origin, and the two magics, boom, zam, counteract one another. And the magic, it's gone. The spear is just a spear now. And so she continues attacking, trying to kill him. Here, someone had cut out a coupon, the previous owner. Fortunately, it wasn't part of the story. And he grabs the spear and thrusts it into her. He didn't necessarily want to have to kill her, but she did. Here she is. Oh, nice transition here as she lays there and dies and says, "Oh, at least I know, in death I shall return to my human form." Well, he turns to his own mount, and as he rides away, he is sad because it wasn't what he had wanted to do. We see that it was all a lie. She had died for a lie because she was still in her centaur form. She had never been human. And then we see the evil sorcerer and his master as they're saying, "Oh, well, that didn't work. But I will see him dead, even if it means destroying a world in the process." Oh, lots of thrilling adventure. I always liked Claw. Yeah, and even in the reboot that they had in the 2000s, except I did not like the conclusion of that. But anyway, that's what I've got this time for Claw the Unconquered. So please like, share, and subscribe. And do leave a comment. Have you read either version of Claw before? What do you think of Ernie Chan's work? What do you think of Pat Boyette's inks, of Ernie Chan's pencils? Anything like that. Any comments that you might have, let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.